Today we're going to work through some derivative questions using the product chain rule. So how you know that you have to do the product chain rule is you're going to be multiplying two things and they're going to have exponents on the outside for at least one of them. Okay. So for the product rule, we'll make this part F, the second part G. So my F is going to be 3x minus 1 squared. So make sure you include that exponent. Then your derivative, we're going to have to go through chain rule here. So that'll be 2 times 3x minus 1 to the first, then times the derivative of the inside, which will just be 3. And then I can multiply the 2 and the 3 together to get 6 times 3x minus 1. Then for G, that'll be 2x plus 4 cubed. And then I'll have to do chain rule to get G prime. So bring that exponent in front, subtract 1, and then multiply it by the derivative of the inside, which will just be 2. And then you can multiply the 3 and the 2. You can't ever take anything out of a parenthesis that has an exponent on here. Okay, so we can't factor out a 2 because this whole thing's being squared. And now we're ready for our product rule, which is just F times G prime plus F prime times G. So we'll have f of x, or f prime of f, is going to equal 3x minus 1 to the second power. So that's f. Then g prime is 6 times 2x plus 4 squared. Then f prime is 6 times 3x minus 1 times g, which is just that 2x plus 4 cubed. Then here, I'm just going to rewrite this with the 6 in front. Okay, and then from here, we need to take out the greatest common factor, okay, from this term and this term. Okay, so on the product chain rule, you always need to take out your GCF. So with my coefficients, I can take out the 6. With the 3x minus 1, the smallest exponent is to the first power. So you can always GCF out whatever the smaller exponent is. And then with the 2x plus 4, this one's squared, this one's cubed, so I can only GCF out 2 of them. So then what we're going to do from here is, from this, I'm going to GCF out the 6 times 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 4 squared, and then I'm going to write what's left. Okay, so what's left here is I GCF'd out the 6, so that's gone. From the 3x minus 1, I took out one of them. So from the 2, there's only going to be one left. Okay. This one I took out the whole thing, so that's gone. So I'm just left with 3x minus 1. Then plus, from this group, I took the 6 out, so that's gone. I took this whole thing out. Well, from the 2x plus 4, I only took 2 of them out. So since there was 3 to begin with, I'm left with 1 of them. Okay. After the GCF step, you'll always be left with just 1 of each. Okay, so you should never have exponents left on these. Okay. Then the last thing I have to do is just combine like terms here. So 3x plus 2x is 5x. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Okay. And that'll just go with all of this. So my 2x plus 4 squared, 3x minus 1 times 6. And that will be our final derivative for this one. Now let's work through one more of these. So again, I have to do product rule because I'm multiplying something with an x times something else with an x. So that tells me product rule. The exponent on the outside tells me chain rule. Okay. So for my f of x, okay, I'm going to include this coefficient. So that'll just be 2 times x squared plus 1. Okay. Here, for this derivative, okay, I don't have to do chain rule because there's not an exponent on the outside. Okay, so I can just do the derivative of x squared plus 1, which is just 2x, and then I can just multiply it with that coefficient that's already there. Then for g, this time I have to do chain rule for g prime since there's an exponent on the outside. So g prime will be 6 times, that'll be x squared plus 2, the inside part won't change, to the 5th. Then I multiply it by the derivative of the inside, which would just be 2x. And then I can go ahead and combine these two. So that'll be 12x times x squared plus 5 to the 5th. Okay, and now I can go to the product rule. So that'll be f times g prime. So that's 2 times x squared plus 1 times g prime is 12x times x squared plus 5 to the 5th. So that's my f g prime. Then we've got plus f prime times g. So f prime was 4x. And then g was x squared plus 2 to the 6. Okay. Now over here I can simplify. I can multiply the 2 and the 12. So I'm going to make that 24x times x squared plus 1 times x squared plus 5 to the 5th. This right here, sorry, is an x squared plus 2. And then plus 4x times x squared plus 2 to the 6. So once you've put it into the product rule and simplified, meaning multiplying the single terms together, then you look at the GCF. Okay, so of the coefficients, the 24x and the 4x, that you can take out a 4x. Then the x squared plus 1. There's not an x squared plus 1 over here, so I can't take out any of these. But the x squared plus 2, both parts have that. Okay. And so it's always the smaller exponent that you're taking out. So I can take out 5 of them. Okay. So from here, okay, of this part, we're going to take the GCF out to the front. And then we're going to write what's left from each term after I take that out. So 24 divided by 4 is going to leave me with a 6. Okay. The x squared plus 1 is left because I didn't take any out. But the x squared plus 2 to the 5th, that I took out. So that whole term is gone. Then from the 4x, there's just a 1 left there. And then the x squared plus 2, this was to the 6th power. I took out 5 of them. So there's just going to be 1 of them left. Now after you do the GCF, all that's left is to simplify on the inside. So I'm going to distribute that 6 and then combine like terms. So combine your x squareds and your constants. And then just put it all together for your final answer. So then that was this part, the GCF, times what was left was 7x squared plus 8.